Welcome to Toni Unleashed, the podcast where we unleash the truth about all things pets.
Our research and anecdotal evidence matched with pet expert interviews will help you help your pet thrive.
We are here to answer questions, divulge information, and spread awareness about what's really going on in the world of pets.
I am your co-host, Emily Taylor, pet nutrition enthusiast.
And I'm Toni Shalasky, owner of Healthy Pet Products with 3 locations in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, and recently expanded to Port Charlotte, Florida. Welcome to the show. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Toni Unleashed. This episode is going to be a very tough episode to not only talk about, but to listen to. But we want you to listen anyways. This is one of the most serious episodes we have recorded. We're going to be talking about a major problem in Pennsylvania and rescues that are doing everything that they can to save the lives of those caught in the crossfire. Today we are talking about puppy mills, backyard breeding, and overall ways unethical breeding can lead to devastating pain and suffering for many animals. We have Kendal on the show today, who is a board member of an incredible rescue called Zoe's House, who's going to talk to us about the dogs in their care, what they do, how they do what they do, and how the public can help and beware of unethical breeding practices. Kendal, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Yes, this is a topic that I am super passionate about, that I have been waiting a very long time to talk about, and we've waited to do this in a way that is educational and respectful, and in a way that we don't want to make anyone feel alienated or, be judgy in any way. This is just purely just talking about Zoe's House Rescue and their relationship with puppy mills in PA, and puppy mills and unethical breeding is a huge issue in Pennsylvania. Especially in the Amish community, and we just want to shed the light on it and talk about ways that we can help and ways that we can educate ourselves and people around us, because puppies are so cute and they are hard to resist.
They are
hard to resist.
There's no such thing as looking. You can't just go and look at a puppy and look and just walk away. It's just, you can't do it.
Once you've fostered 40 of them, you sure can.
Honestly, fair. I have had puppies in my house, and I'm like, puppies are not for me. They're very cute to look at.
Same.
But I much rather an adult dog.
Yes.
But I mean, and to that point, puppy mill puppies are very cute, and they usually look like, small, desirable breeds, but we're also going to talk about the health issues that come with unethical breeding, the emotional issues that these dogs come with, and just the inhumanity behind it all. So,
Kendal, tell us your background first and how you got involved.
Yeah, so I work remotely, and that was long before COVID, so I've always kind of had a very flexible schedule, which allowed me to kind of dive right in. I'm also extremely impulsive, so once I'm passionate about something, I'm like the whole way in. My ex-husband and I actually adopted our first dog from a different rescue, and then we wanted a second dog, and I came upon Sawyer, who is a tripod golden doodle. He had lost his leg because of a puppy mill, which I can go into that medical story later. So we adopted him from Zoe's House, and then from there on out, I was in. I asked if my ex wanted to foster. He was like, yeah, let's think about it. The next day, I already had our application in. We were approved. We were getting a dog that following weekend. Like, I did not hesitate. I am up to 41 dogs now. Or 42, actually. This one's my 42nd. That's licking a lick mat at my feet.
Not that live with you currently, but that have been through your
42
house.
42 fosters. Yeah. Through in and out of my house.
Yeah.
Yes, in about a year, 3.5 year span.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm actually considered new to rescue. We have people in our rescue that have been in rescue for 20, 30 years. Zoe's House has been around for about 12 years, I believe. So all things considered, I'm new in the rescue world, but I just kind of dove in and didn't stop.
Yeah.
So talk about Zoe's House. How did it start? What kind of rescue is it?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys do? Just a brief description about Zoe's House Rescue.
Sure. So Zoe was our president's name is Lakin, and Zoe was actually one of her first dogs, and she kind of saw the whole, when she came across her. She didn't buy her from the Amish, but somehow she got her from a third party and saw the issue that we were facing, the crisis, and kind of started from there. And just became in love with saving puppy mill dogs. That is primarily our focus. We do some owner surrenders, but it's kind of tough because we don't have a facility. So if it's a dog aggressive dog, a people aggressive dog, we can't do that because we don't have anywhere to put a dog that can't be with other animals or be with people. All of our dogs are in foster homes.
Got it.
And then we also will do some shelter pools. So this is actually something I didn't know until recently. The PSPCA and the SPCAs and the Humane Leagues, they want rescues to come in and help them. It's not about adopting dogs out. It's just about clearing the shelters. So anytime that Harrisburg Humane, they're our main partner, needs some of their shelter emptied, we will go up and do a pool. So I organized last Christmas a senior dog pool, and we just went in and said, give us your oldest, decrepit, sick dogs. We'll take them. So we ended up pooling 14 dogs right before Christmas, which is a win-win for everyone because those dogs got out of stalls and went into homes, and it got the medical bills off of the shelter. It kind of helped us because they were already relatively vetted, so they didn't even cost us that much. And then also when you take a dog from a shelter, you're actually saving 2 lives because you're saving that dog that you pulled.
Yeah.
And you just opened up a stall for another dog.
Yeah.
So it's a really nice thing that we try to do as often as we can. But everyone is in crisis right now, as I'm sure you can see if you just scroll Facebook for 3 minutes.
Everyone's packed.
Yes. Yeah. So Harrisburg Humane has a really cool Facebook group now where they just post dogs that they think would be good for rescue. And if we have a foster that we think would be great, we'll pull. I think we pulled 2 last week. We have a stray hold license, so sometimes we get strays. But our dogs do I would say 90% come from puppy mills.
So talk about that. What is your connection with puppy mills? Why is it so? Tell us about puppy mills. Why you need rescues like you to save these dogs.
Yeah. So first and foremost, we do not pay for any of our dogs. Every dog that comes to us is surrendered to us completely for free. And they prefer to be called commercial breeders, not puppy mills, obviously. So we are kind of playing a little bit of a game because even though we don't agree with what they're doing, if we are aggressive or rude or mean or judgy to them, they won't call us again. And then we just killed every dog on that farm. So we do tread a very fine line that every day we all kind of have to internally be okay with. We report any that we can report, but because of the laws in Pennsylvania, most of them, there's just no point in reporting them because even if someone goes out, nothing's going to happen. And then they're going to know that we reported them and never call us again. So it's a very fine line that we tread. The way that we look at it is we're just trying to save as many dogs as possible. We will do our best to support any laws and promote everything we can to stop puppy mills, but at the end of the day, saving dogs is the most important thing.
So talk about the issues. What are the issues with these puppy mills commercial breeders? What does it look like behind the scenes, and how can people be aware of them when they're going to look for a puppy?
Yeah, so behind the scenes, it's disgusting. You're going to see insane overbreeding. So it's going to be tons of health defects. Now, you wouldn't see, this is what's behind the scenes. So a purchaser would not see this, but you're going to see overbreeding. You're going to see incest. So that's going to cause a lot of medical defects, a lot of heart murmurs. We see a lot. Anyone who's breeding doodles at this point is pretty much guaranteed to be a puppy mill because doodles are just this high thing and they're not even supposed to be bred together. Yeah. And I am through and through a doodle person by a complete accident, but I know they're awful. I love my dogs. They're awful dogs. Because they're all puppy mills, essentially mixed breeds that shouldn't be mixed. They're not clean. They're not well kept. You're not getting proper health checks. They're not getting the vaccines that they're supposed to. The moms and dads especially live in complete filth. Those puppies might have been treated well for those 8 weeks, and well would be to their standards, not how we would, not how the average person would treat a puppy. But the moms and dads, you're never gonna see them. And even if you think you see them, you saw the ones they wanted you to see. So that cute mom that's running around in the farm, that's their show mom. The actual mom is in the back coated in mats.
And
because how would you know? I mean, how would you know? You're seeing a mom, like you're buying a golden doodle. You're seeing a mom that's a beautiful golden and a dad that's a poodle. And I saw it. It was so crazy. I actually just for the first time got to see it in firsthand. I picked up 2 mamas when I picked up these puppies that I have. And the one mama was so social. She was out in the yard running around. And I was like, oh my God, like this might not actually be that bad of a farm. Because sometimes like your brain messes with you. You get there and you're like, this is beautiful. The lady's so nice. Like this dog is beautiful. I put that dog in my car and she's like, I'm going to go get the other one. She's gone for so long because she's going so deep in a barn. Comes out, this dog is matted to its core, like had to be shaved completely down. We had to sedate it and it like froze. Like I had to physically carry it. I put it in my yard to go to the bathroom when we got home, would not move, like statue. So they like that was the first. I had my sister with me and she's only done a few pickups with me. And I was explaining to her, I was like, this is, you can't get more example than this. Like this is the one they show that's treated decent. So it has a good personality when when the purchasers show up for their puppies. And this is the one that actually is doing all the labor in the back. It's really disgusting. But and people fall for it, or they have a laundry room where the puppies are. They're homegrown in the laundry room. Yeah, they moved them there that day. Yeah, they're not there.
Yeah, yeah. So what can people like when people are looking for a puppy and they want to try to avoid this? What are some signs that they can look for that maybe they are looking at a website that is what you are talking about?
LancasterCountyPuppies.com.
Yeah, I guess first and foremost, anything in Lancaster County and anything in the Amish.
Lancaster County is out. Yeah, anything Lancaster County, anything Amish or Mennonite is completely out. Honestly, anyone who advertises on those sites, Lancaster Puppies, Greenfield Puppies, Keystone Puppies,
Buckeye State. I've seen Buckeye State, which is Ohio.
Buckeye State. There's also there's one I just saw today. It's like homegrown puppies. I just asked our group about it and they were saying that it used to be backyard breeders, so it wasn't quite as bad, and now puppy mills, 3 of our mills advertise on it, she said. So you really can't trust websites unless it's a specific breed. So I think that's the number one thing is you want a breeder that specializes in that breed. So if you notice on their website, they're breeding 10 different breeds.
And that is because, and for our listeners, if you have to buy a dog from a breeder, the reason why you want from a breeder who only breeds one breed is because there are breed standards and there are genetic.
And they're dedicated.
There are genetic issues that come with every single breed. So breeders are going to be doing their very best.
And they medically test.
And they're doing the best for the breed so that you are getting a good dog that is true to the breed that you want. So when you have a breeder that is breeding, your doodles and then your poodles and maybe your golden retrievers, I mean, it's hard. Even though those are just 3 dogs, it is so hard to follow the stand. It is so expensive.
It's impossible.
It is so hard to follow the breed standard of just one breed.
Which is why you have to wait.
Is why you have to wait because female dogs only go into heat really twice a year.
Kendal,
sometimes.
The 2 females you just picked up, or with the puppies, how did you get the woman to relinquish the breed mom? The breeder.
So our rescue primarily, when we get dogs from puppy mills, we get them 2 different reasons. Well, 3 different reasons. We get moms and dads that they're done breeding. So either they're too old, they haven't gotten pregnant in a while, they had a litter that had a bunch of defects, what's the other big reason? They're a bad mom. We've had moms that have just like eaten all their puppies. Yeah. So like, even though they're great dogs, they're a bad mom, and that costs them money because they're not watching the birth. They're just coming out and then there's puppies. So that's the main way we get the moms and dads. We get puppies for 2 different reasons. One, medical cases. So that's primarily what we used to get. So before COVID, it would be rare that we would get puppies. If we would get puppies, it would be pure medical cases. Like that's how I got my Sawyer. His arm was bitten off in a puppy mill, so they dumped him at a vet. Like that is how we would get puppies before. Now we're getting calls for full litters of puppies because they're not selling. the COVID boom of puppies have completely dropped off. People aren't buying the way they were. So not only are people surrendering their COVID puppies to us, mills are calling us and saying, hey, I have 5 Bernese Mountain Dog 4-month-old puppies I didn't sell, and now they're just costing me a ton of money. Come get them. So that's how, like, I know to some people on the outside it looks like we're like breeding dogs because we have these full litters, but really it's them calling us saying, come get them or else. Like, they're not selling. And when a Bernese Mountain Dog is 4 months old, that dog is eating.
Yeah.
Right. So like they don't want that dog anymore. It's costing they'll keep one.
Too much money.
Right. They'll keep one to breed. They'll sell a couple at auction and then they'll give us the rest.
Yeah. Sell them at auction? What is that?
Yeah. So there is like, it's almost like in Lancaster County, we have like mud sales, which I've never been to one, but like it's real. They have like really similar ones except dogs, and they will, all these Amish people will come together and literally sell their dogs at auction. And like if they just bred puppies and they're these like beautiful Merrill Aussies, they'll sell them to other Amish people to breed with. So that's their way of keeping bloodlines clean. But it's not, because you're just mixing them with people in the community and then they're buying from you a year later. Like it's not keeping any bloodlines clean. It's just how they try to prevent brothers and sisters from breeding.
And then, so I'm sure there's many that they don't even reach out to you about, that they just kill.
Yeah. So, tons. It's getting, I will say, like, it was like a faux pas to call us, and it is getting more normalized. We're getting a lot of calls of people saying like, hey, my brother uses you. Will you take these dogs? But it's sad. We get about 15 calls a day, and that's not 15 dogs. That's 15 calls a day. And there's only so much we can do. Obviously we can't take in 15 dogs a day. So we have a really good network now of other rescues that we work with. So a lot of the rescues around us, you'll see they've been getting a high influx of puppy mill dogs, and it's because we are networking the dogs out. If we, we just got a bunch of Aussies in, we sent them to an Aussie rescue. We got a bunch of labs in, we sent them to a lab rescue. Like, we let these breed-specific rescues that have the experience and want them and will take them if they can, because it's,
and they're more likely to get adopted out if they're with breed specific.
They have that following. You're following.
Sure. Right. I love that, because I think it's important to mention as well is that rescues can get a bad rap for having a really intense application process and for people to get denied. And I think it's really important to mention that that is because these backyard breeders, these puppy mill breeders, the Amish community, they are not doing that thorough application process, and they are just giving puppies away to anyone who wants to buy a puppy. And when those people don't want them anymore, they look to rescues to home these dogs. And so it is really important, and it is the responsibility of every rescue to do their due diligence the best that they can, to find the homes, because these dogs need to stick. And it's so important.
And we get it all the time.
Yeah.
We get it all the time, that it's harder to adopt from us than it is to adopt a child.
And of course, and it is just a catch-22 for everything. And that's how the cycle perpetuates, because people have no patience and they get fed up. They say, I tried to rescue, I tried and I just couldn't. So I went and 1 week later I bought a puppy, and it's like, it's continuing the problem.
It's the impulsiveness of people too. Like, why do you need a puppy tomorrow? I have a girlfriend who...
What does anyone need a puppy, first of all? I cannot with puppies.
Don't get me started. But I have a girlfriend who would like threaten me every week. Like, I'm going to go get one. If you don't get me one soon, I'm going to go get a golden. If you don't get me one soon. And I'm like, I told you, a golden retriever puppy. I was like, I told you. And she was fully joking. Like, I knew she wasn't going to do it. But she kept on me, and then wouldn't you know, we got an entire litter, 5 puppies, golden retriever puppies, all 100% healthy. And I was like, see what happens? You waited, and I just got you a dog from a breeder. It's it's from a puppy mill, but like that puppy is perfect. And I didn't even foster it. I gave it to her for foster to adopt. It was like, you waited 6 months and I got you the exact dog you wanted, down to the color of the golden that she wanted.
Did she want English cream?
No, she just wanted the standard.
The more red,
just like the normal. Like the in-between color. But I was like, see how it worked out? Like, if you're just patient, I tell all my friends that, well, as long as they're good homes, obviously.
Right.
But I say, if you just give me a couple breeds that you're interested in, give me an age range, and just be patient, I will have a dog for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to send all my people to you.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, we do have an insane adoption process, and I get it. It is like signing your life away. But you also have to remember, we're not a shelter. Like, this dog is in my house for 2 months. And I'm treating it like my dog. Yeah. If I wouldn't let you dog sit my dogs, I'm not going to give you my foster.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, and I know, I mean, Zoe's house in general, we're pretty crazy. Like, if you adopt from me, you are my new best friend. You better add me on Facebook, Instagram. You better check in once a month. Like, I loved that dog first. Just send me a picture. Like, I just want to see how they're living. And all of them do. I find the best adopters. But there's always those random occurrences of returns and things we don't know. Like,
right. It happens.
And what's different, do you think, about your background checks compared to other rescues? Like, because you said you're like over the top the worst.
I don't know that we're the worst. I think most people are so used to seeing. Yeah, that's my tripod. I'll get him up then. But most people are used to seeing their friends go to shelters and leave with a dog. Yeah. And it's just a different environment. And I'm not against that. We need to clear the shelters. There are everyone has different policies. I would say that we're pretty crazy because we do a full background check. We do a home visit. Now that's virtual. So I basically just FaceTime with them and then say, show me you're not a hoarder. And if I required a fence, show me your fence.
But not every dog requires a fence. It's specific.
Correct. Yeah. No, not all of our dogs require fences. Most of our puppy mill dogs do because the moms and dads are terrified. So they're huge flight risks. But most of our puppies, we don't require fences with. We're realistic when it comes to that. Not every puppy needs a fence. Dogs can live great lives without fences. Now, we also do phone interviews. We call references. We call vets. But I think most of that is standard. Right. I just think that I would say our application is probably what people complain about because it is like pages and pages long.
Yeah.
And it is. And the biggest complaint people have, and I get it, if I was on the other side, I would feel the same way. Our system does not allow us to associate your name with multiple dogs. So if you get denied when trying to adopt Toby, you have to fill out the entire thing again. Oh. And I get it. Like it's not us.
What system do you use?
We use Shelter Love.
Oh yeah. So that's what orphans just brought on.
List. Yeah, it's on, and it's one of those things they say that they're working on, but like, there's just no way to, and we could save the application, but then like someone who, when there's 100 applications for Maple, and this person emailed and said, oh, I'm also interested in Maple, that foster home is not going to search, it's not going to show up when they search Maple to look at like, there's just no clean way to do it. Right. So we're constantly apologizing. And that's also why we haven't implemented an application fee, because we don't feel comfortable charging people an application fee every single time they apply. So there's just no good way to do it. The advice I give everybody when I respond to emails is to just save your answers in a Word document. So next time you can just copy and paste it in. But again, I'm very aware that is extremely inconvenient.
What is the adoption fee?
So every dog is different. We base it off of whether or not they're spayed or neutered, their age, breed. And honestly, I know some rescues won't be honest about this, but sometimes it's just popularity. And I feel justified in that because we have never once turned away a medical case. Mm-hmm. So if we make $100 on one dog, I can promise you we're in the red on 10 others. Right. So that's how, like, and everyone in the rescue, I have a business mind. Like, I am a corporate person. So it's funny that I have to be reeled in sometimes because I'm the one that's constantly like, I don't care if this makes us look bad. We're putting this dog up for $1,000. It is gorgeous. It's spayed. It has a clean bill of health. It's seen 3 vets and it's 10 weeks old. Well, it wouldn't be spayed if it's 10 weeks old, but you get my point. Like, I'm the one that's constantly high prices.
And that's what you have to do. Like, in the rescue world for us too, it's like, this puppy, it didn't get spayed or neutered, but this is the only way that we are going to make up for the last dog that needed severe medical attention, or you're going to you're never going to be able to help as many dogs as you want to.
At the end of the day, a rescue is a business and does have to remain somewhat profitable to continue saving lives.
Yes. I 100%
exactly.
support all of that. And you're going to, if it's a beautiful dog and you put it up for like the adoption fee is $800, you're not going to have as many applications for it, and you're only going to get the best applications for it and the people who can afford it.
And let's be real, most of the time it's doodles.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, as someone who owns 3 doodles, if you can't afford an $800 adoption fee, you can't afford a doodle.
God, no.
I spend more than that on grooming.
Yes.
Yeah.
In 6 months, you'll spend more than that in grooming.
Yes. So that's why, like, I will say one of my big sticklers is financial. And I know I'm just very cautious about that when it comes to doodles, because if you're complaining about $750 now, you're going to hate this dog in 2 years, because I spend more on my dog's hair than on my own.
Yeah.
So like you kind of have to accept that comes with, and that maybe you didn't do your research then. Like maybe you don't, or like preventatives. How much money? I don't even think about it. It just gets ordered on my credit card, the amount of money I spend on preventatives yearly. It's just, you don't think about that stuff, especially new dog owners.
Yeah.
So, Kendal, I'm just going to go there. I'm an anti-vaxxer.
Oh, okay. In dogs or people?
All of the above.
Well, your dog was vaccinated, but you do the titers to make sure that the antibodies are still in this. You do not you're an anti-over vaccinator.
Okay.
Well, and an anti-vaccinator. But DeSoto was a rescue, so he was already vaccinated.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. And he hasn't been vaccinated since. So when rescues, if rescues would check my vet records, they're going to, first of all, see that I really don't go. I don't do chemical.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah, I don't do chemical flea and ticks. I don't do vaccinations. I typically go every 3 years and have blood panels done, unless something comes up. So,
but the difference is that like the vets that you go to know who you are, and so when know that like you haven't, like your dog's not being neglected medical care wise, and I mean, like for like Allison, who goes to the same vet, she was able to get a puppy. They got a vet reference, and they're like, she's an absolutely great dog owner because she goes to the vet all the time, just gets it what it needs based on health issues.
Right. So smaller rescues, I'd be like, no, they're not gonna. Yeah. They're not gonna. Which I'm not. Like I get it, but you know,
it's tough. Honestly, we would probably deny your app too, and and to be completely honest, it's because we probably have 5 others that are phenomenal also and check our boxes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So even if you got on the phone, if I didn't have a lot of good apps and I was like, wow, this application's amazing, but I don't agree with X, Y, and Z, you might get a phone call, you'd plead your case, I'd talk to the vet. We might be okay. The problem is, and this is what I'm constantly reminding people too, is just because your application is amazing doesn't mean there's not 10 others that are also amazing.
Right.
And it's pure luck sometimes which ones I open first.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with person. Sometimes, so basically if someone says it only costs $500 to own a doodle a year, I'm denying that application. And that's how I'll do it. So it's not fair. I'm not saying it's fair. It's just I have 100 applications. What am I supposed to do? I have to pick something and narrow it down.
Is that a question on your app? Oh, I love that question.
And you would be surprised how many people say like $300, $200. And then we get the people that say 20 grand. Yes.
No.
How much does it cost to own a dog a year? People say $300. I'm like, I wish.
Oh my God. Would you accept?
I have a 6-pound dog, like, and she costs at least $3 grand a year. Like,
oh my gosh.
Would you accept if someone wrote?
Mine's probably 10 in food.
Yeah. Oh no, I'll keep, if anybody says like cost will never matter, an insane amount, like I'll do anything that's over $1,000. $1,000 is where I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh boy.
At least for doodles. Other breeds, that's a little different.
Yeah, but we don't have doodles in our dog. It's like thousands and thousands.
Easily.
A year.
Easily.
Wow, I cannot believe that you get so many applications in. That is amazing, though.
During COVID, we would get hundreds for each dog.
Wow.
It has very much slowed down. So I would say the last dog we had this like perfect looking, like stereotypical gorgeous golden doodle puppy that was like 3 months old, perfect personality, already potty trained. I think we got like 50 applications and we turned it off because 50 is more than enough. But that's the most we've gotten in a while. Since COVID, it has really cut back. So like I actually just had this really cute tripod puppy, who normally would have probably got, like before COVID or during COVID even, would have gotten like 100. He got 7. And like luckily all 7 were great. So I actually had really good apps to choose from. But in that case, I got to read all 7 apps then, because that was a very normal amount of applications. I chose my top 3. I interviewed them, you know, kind of went through the process there. But no, some of our high volume dogs can get up to 50. We try to shut it off at like 30 just to save us all, you know, save people the effort and save us the like sanity.
Sure. There's that is insane.
All right, Kendal, tell us website, social media handles, best way to get a hold of you guys.
Yes. So our website is where you can find our adoptable dogs. It's where you can find some of our merchandise. That is just zoesHouseRescue.com. It's where you can find all of our applications. So to apply for each dog individually, we do not keep applications on file. So you have to choose the dog that you'd like to apply for. I know that's inconvenient. We're working on it. You can volunteer. We have a volunteer only application. So that's for clerical. That's basically if you're not within our radius. We have a foster application that you can use on that site. And then we also have our surrender form. So if you need to surrender a dog, you can find that there. We also have that pulled through into Pet Finder, and that's where you can also stumble upon our dogs. So that's kind of like an API pool. So we are on Pet Finder, and then we have a Facebook, which is Zoe's House Rescue, which is basically our main form of communication to everyone. We do post dogs there, but then ultimately it drives you to our website.
So much to talk about on this episode with Zoe's Rescue and their life-saving journey. Please. We've had to cut it into 2 episodes, so sit, stay, be patient, and you can listen to the rest on our next episode. Take care.